All right, guys, welcome back. A little Q&A session here at the end. Role play today is basically over, but we're going to go and take questions from subscribers. If you have questions for individual characters and you are not a sub, you can tweet at us. And if said person does have their Twitter open, they can obviously choose that question. So otherwise, Neil, I guess you're the DM here. You can be the question finder.
Oh, I was gonna say it's your stream. You can be the question finder,
Oh,
but I
you
can
son
do
of
it.
a bitch. I think you
No,
should.
that's fine. I can do it. I can do it. Never done this before. Okay.
Enjoy.
There are no questions yet. Oh, for the players and Neil, what is your favorite NPC in the story so far and why? Players.
I don't have a direct.
Gregor?
I think,
Bear Gore.
yeah, I mean Bear Gore, but he's dead. So, out of the living, I think I like Dalamar just because he's created the most suspense and kind of storyline out of a lot of them. So I'd go with him.
Anyone else? Jen?
Yeah, I'd go with Mogwaggles, but he's dead. So, either Dalamar or the Pervy Wizard.
Vincent?
I think I like Brightblade.
Is that a go?
I don't really. Most of the. I feel like most of the characters that we've killed off have been like the best ones. Whether it's like Baragor or whether it's Brightblade or whoever.
Mogwaggles.
Like all the best have died, in my opinion. Delamar's pretty cool. I don't know. I think he's kind of ridiculous, but I guess that's what he's supposed to be. So that's my answer.
I don't know. I would say of the ones that have been introduced so far and are still alive, I'm a Dalamar fan. Whole cast, what have you learned most in these 11 weeks? What do you enjoy and what do you want drive the show away from? I guess what do you want to drive the show away from?
I think last week was the fighting. I wasn't interested because like the threat of dying was not there, and it went on for quite some time. So I was a little bit bored with that. But in terms of what have I learned, I don't know. I think everyone's actually kind of just learned how to loosen up and actually start playing their characters a lot better recently.
I learned like just how expansive a game like this is. Like it's not as simple as just cutting someone down. It's finding out you could shield charge somebody. Looting, of course, is something that's in games as well, but more like finagling deals and working out strategies. Like the dating thing, as fucked up as that got, it was kind of cool they tried that. But stuff like that you can do in a game like this, but you can't do in a programmed computer or console game, Not for the most part.
Soon enough, Jeff, we will have an army of Willowbrookians, just so you know. That is the plan.
Anyone else?
Yeah, what they said, and I enjoyed plotting a ton. Like when we came up for the relationship thing with Gregor, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene, and like I really enjoy the most. I think big crits are cool, but even more than that, I really like when we can be creative and when just really unexpected things happen. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the randomness of the game definitely, I think, is the most fun element.
Yeah.
I like what the numbers can do to scenes, like the perfect slap, and then
Yeah. It's cool that like our imagination can create a scene, but it actually doesn't mean anything if we roll poorly, because then it can just change completely. Like that's
like
awesome.
When I wanted to spit on that girl's body and I just spit next to it. Like, so I just drooled. I drooled.
Yeah, you spit on yourself. You like drool on yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Real quick, someone asked me who does all the art for the show, including the awesome opening video. That is my graphic artist. His name is Daniel, and his website, I'll link it in the chat here. That's all of his stuff. He does really, really awesome stuff. He does art for everything I do, whether it's state of the game, role play, any artwork you see on anywhere JP, it's all him. I think he's done a couple Chanman intros as well. He's really, really good at what he does.
Okay. Whole cast, is there anything you hope happens or any type of creature you hope to encounter eventually?
I want to kill a dragon. I think that's probably like the ultimate beast.
I like to win a duel.
Happens to, though? That's how you got that armor that you're
Yeah,
wearing.
I'm 1 and 2. But I mean, like the duel I did one was against like a pretty weak guy actually, and I've liked the drama of when those happen. I liked challenging and then like fighting for the life of someone that was on court. I thought that was really cool, but then I lost. And the way I lost was really funny too. Speaking of those numbers, like I did so much damage to him at first that I was like, I thought I could be a badass, but like, surely this man doesn't need to die. And then he stands up and just knocks me down. So, but that fight was probably the craziest fight we've ever been a part of. Like you thought we were all gonna die. We thought we were gonna die.
Which one is that?
Where Lord Fang gets his face burnt off.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah, that
definitely
was-
the craziest
That was
moment.
like that was the closest we've been to dying, I think.
And that's where the game gets defined for me. Like I do agree the goblin fight. I think everyone would. It was just a little bit repetitive because they were, like, while I enjoy lots of fighting, it was the same thing over and over again. So it got a little bit more fun for me when the armored guys came out, the leader
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But I liked the Lord Fang thing because it took some it took some weird, like, we had to think creatively to get out of that, you know.
Well, Neil, a question for you. Like, did you expect us to go into the goblin den that early?
No, I see. That's one of the.
Because I didn't
reasons the
think you
Goblin
had
fight
any
took
idea that
so
we wanted to do
long.
that.
Well, I thought you guys were going to go after the goblins at some point. Like that was kind of more or less planned. But I didn't expect you guys to go in and corner them. The goblin fight was supposed to go down more of like an epic battle where each one of you has like 4 or 5 goblins attacking you, and it becomes like this giant slaughter in an open field, rather than you guys like cornering them and like hacking them away 1 or 2 at a round.
Sure.
We've got those
So
video game tactics, man. There's no out tacticking.
Yeah. So it changed a little bit, which is why it dragged on for way too long. I agree. It was way too long. It was getting kind of boring. But you know, ups and downs, right?
Sure.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a really good question. So for the players, what class would you re-roll if you died right now?
I'd play mage in an instant. Right off the bat.
Damn, I wanted to play mage too. Yeah.
I am always a fighter in every game I play, so if I was forced to, I guess I would pick something else, but I would like to just be a fighter.
Fighter for you.
I'd be a
Yeah.
politician otherwise.
I mean, I was initially going to play a dwarven, like dual wielder with axes, but then Jeff, I think, on the first day that we played and we didn't stream it, Jeff claimed fighter right away, and like the party didn't have a healer, so I was
Yeah.
just like, well, we're fucked if we don't have a healer, so I guess I'll go ahead and play one. And then I just made him like the most ridiculous character, so I enjoyed it, or I enjoy it still.
But you would be a mage right now.
I'd be straight up mage. I think that spells are like the most fun you can have in the game, because the people in your party, unless you've cast it before, won't have anything idea what's going on. I like having fun with that.
What about you, Gregor?
What are all the classes again? I don't remember.
You have
beginning.
single class fighter, paladin, ranger, cleric, wizard, and thief. There's bard and druid, but they're stupid and retarded, so I don't let people play them.
Nice.
I think thief would be one of the most fun out of combat, and also kind of paladin. I played paladin in World of Warcraft, and it's kind of fun to just be like a really strong tank that can just heal and be a beast like that.
I was kind of hoping someone would play a paladin, because I think like role play wise, you have to actually like really really stick to your alignment, at least from what I know. So I feel like that would have been actually a triumph if someone could like do that on their first go.
It'd be interesting, but it'd also be really hard, because then when you guys do anything remotely
Well, it's
evil,
like,
paladin's
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
If we killed Lord Fang, or like Jeff chopped off his head, like all of that shit just
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that destroy parties before. Like it falls apart completely. So
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
I
it's
would
not.
have I said I
What-
would have liked to be a mage too.
Yeah.
And I tried to be a nice person, like to roleplay a nice person, so that people understand I'm not actually evil.
Uh,
I wouldn't loot everything every time.
yeah. So, Neil, does the world have other planes and/or any other planes to incorporate in the story? There are other planes, but we're not doing any extra planar activities currently. crazy thing. I don't see any questions. Where do you derive your inspiration when you play your character?
I try to think, what the fuck would like a raving lunatic do? Or like what is something I can do that would piss someone off like at this very instant? And half the time, like I'm just trying to piss people off, whether it's their character or it's like their actual person. Because I think that creates like the most dynamic situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that came true in the game. Like everything my character's done has just been like out of nowhere.
Rest of you guys?
I just try to think of like the most ridiculous thing I can think of that will make the game like interesting, I guess. And I don't know, just try to have fun with it, really. And the most mischievous ideas I go with.
For my character, I'm neutral, and the way when I read up on what neutral means, it seems kind of like I just do what would benefit me the most, but I'll kind of like sometimes I'll do evil things, sometimes I'll do bad. So I try to think of what I would do, what will benefit me the most of any of that.
I feel like my character's the way I play it is like pretty stereotypical in the sense that he's the like charismatic leader, jock type guy, I guess, just because he's a warrior. But I have a little bit of Patrick Bateman in him. He's he's like power hungry, and I mean he's like trying to prove himself out in the world. So when he starts gaining momentum, he's pretty happy with doing well.
Okay. Here's one that wasn't in chat, but I'm curious. Do you want to tell anyone why you're just drinking apple juice now? Or is that are you saving that for not now?
I don't have any master plan of that. I drink apple juice because he's a little bit of he's not a health nut, but he's like he doesn't believe in poisoning himself basically.
Okay. Any change coming to the crit system at all? Yeah, I think I'm going to change it to 5, 10, 15 rather than 4, 8, 12. But we'll probably implement that next week because 4, 8, 12 is just getting a little weird. Also, the math is easier with 5, 10, 15, and I'm greatly looking forward to that. Cast, what do you guys think of the reception you've gotten from RollPlay? How do you see this growing?
I think everyone on the show had no idea that we'd get the amount of viewership that we have for it. I expected maybe a couple hundred to watch and have like a small dedicated group, but each week, like we're seeing more numbers. The VODs on YouTube, I think week 1 has like almost over 100,000 views on it, which is just like I'd never expected that ever. We peaked at 4.8 today. Like that's 800 more than we had last week. Like it's just every week it just grows, and I don't fucking know why. Because about a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years, there was a D&D stream on Twitch, and I watched it, and I thought it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. And now, like, here we are playing D&D, and like it's I don't know, people are attracted to it for some reason.
I actually have a bit of the state of the game vibe from it, where it's like really good personalities and a good time. But it's when I say that, what I mean is when I'm going to events, I almost hear as much as anything else. Thanks for doing roleplay, and I really enjoy roleplay, and what you guys are doing is great. It's really interesting, but I think when I reflect upon it, it kind of makes sense because a lot of what people glob onto with esports in general is they like storylines. Like I remember when people see someone walk by on a stream, they like to like pretend they know what that person does or what they're doing, and they just kind of like to interact on the human level that way. And I think with roleplay, it's really easy to get involved in that way, so people are kind of attached to it. And what's acting, what's real, is such and such mad. It's like a daytime television show. It's kind of funny.
It's a good point. Yeah, there definitely is drama in this shit. So
Yeah. The rest of you guys? Anything else to add?
I just
I'm
think
really
it's really
happy.
great. I'm having a ton of fun. I love this show.
Yeah.
It's like one of the highlights of my week. I'm always looking forward to it and like plotting of what I can do next.
I will say I think that a big reason why the show is the way it is because of Neal's DMing, and
Yeah.
I'm like super excited that I turned down Wizards of the Coast from DMing this shit and got Neal, because I think so far it's been like I mean, obviously, I haven't played with any other DMs, but from what people say, like reading the chat and all the comments and everything, like Neal's doing an awesome job. I think part of the reason why the game's so fun is because he's obviously DMing it. So, and
Thank
people
you.
need to make him art somehow. I don't know how people make him art, but they need to do it.
Yeah, we need Neal art.
I guess, sure. That'd be fun. What is your inspiration for creating the world, Neal? Any other RPGs like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, or the newer Dark Souls? A lot of Dragonlance. I read as a kid. I read a fuck ton of Dragonlance. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see it over here, but the shelf, the second to bottom shelf over there,
Yep.
is completely covered with Dragonlance books, and that's 2 stacks deep, and then also to the right. So, as a kid, I read a fuck ton of Dragonlance, and I loved the shit out of it. And then also just playing with my friends. Like, as kids, I started playing in like junior high, a little bit before junior high. Like, we didn't have books, and so we just like pretended like, okay, you're a fighter, and there's an ogre in front of you. I attack. We didn't have dice. Okay, you hit. You deal 3, and we're just kind of like being retarded. And then we got books and we started playing. And so I think my friends that I used to play with back in high school and junior high and college were most of my inspiration. And I can't find any more questions that are.
They might have tweeted questions from the normal chat to you guys. I don't know if you have Twitter open.
I do. What systems are we using for roleplay? Second edition, heavily modified second edition. To Jeff, how do you feel about D&D crossing over into your StarCraft today, like with your WCS?
Yeah, I saw him say that.
Whatever.
I don't know what that means because if I had a match for WCS, I would have politely told everyone in this show to fuck off.
Yeah, we would have
play the
delayed
match.
it or
Yeah.
canceled
Yeah,
it or whatever.
We would have
But
rescheduled it or something.
It's also, I only do this once a week and I do it on weekends, so there have been a few people who's like, maybe if you're practicing more, and it's like, this is actually a really productive time. It's on the weekend, and I have a life, and sometimes it gets streamed, and if you don't like it because it doesn't involve StarCraft, then you can fuck off a little bit.
Any plans on doing a drunken roleplay or any update on the marathon stream with guest characters?
I mean, it's possible. Maybe we'll try to do the drunken one like over centered around a holiday of some sort. Maybe like a Christmas or something like that. I don't really have any plan for that. The charity thing, we planned to do it in April, but the planning went as far as, hey, we should do that charity thing in April. So we haven't really put any more thought to that. I think we'll definitely.
We should look into that.
We look into it. Jeff, we need to probably decide. You're at DreamHack next week, right?
Yeah, that's one of those things I was going to talk to you guys about.
What are you getting home? You're flying home Monday from that?
Yes.
We could probably just do a Tuesday show, then just start on Sunday again and double up that week if you're able to.
I think that should work.
Okay. I'll we'll make sure after this because I got to put up the schedule tomorrow. But everyone's good for Tuesday next week at 8. We can even make it earlier if need be.
Yeah.
Or you got Inside the Game, right?
We should. So yeah, we'd have to do it later.
Okay, we can do it at. Well, let's just say 10. Let's just start at 10.
Sure.
And if it's a short play, it's fine. We'll just play on Sunday again, but we could play for 2 or 3 hours then.
Okay.
Yeah, the charity thing we need to do.
We should talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to push it too far back, but we'll definitely. We need to do
We'll
it. That's
do
all
it.
it is. I just don't know when.
Yeah. Do you guys want to have time for a few more?
Sure.
Yeah. We can go till. We can do another 10 minutes or so.
Okay. If you could switch characters with any other party member for one session, who would it be and what would you do? Let's go one by one. Gregor, who would you switch with and what would you do?
I would probably swap with Tuttigub. And the reason I say that is because he can just do so many like random things. And so I would figure out some way to just like troll the party or throw a wrench in something and just see everybody's reaction to it.
Okay. Abigail, what would you do? Who would you switch with?
That's what I was gonna say at first, but I also have a reason I'd want to switch with Jeff, because I just like to know how it feels to just like slash shit and just kill things. Feels like, I don't know. I don't feel very powerful with my character, so I feel like I could go more like badass into things.
Mm-hmm. Vincent, who would you switch with and why?
Abigail. And I would just shower all the time.
Not in real life. If your characters could switch.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
He's like, and I go take a
understood.
shower.
Yep.
Tycho.
I'd probably switch with Ryan and see if good rolls actually help him out.
You want to see how
No,
it
I think that I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like be able to mess around kind of in the backfield and never really be up front. I thought it was interesting today when he fought the giant that like I had this realization that oh my god, he's actually the best tank in the party, but he's never in the front line. And that like Jeff is up there with like fucking 5 HP capped and just like getting one shot half the time. So I don't know. I think Ryan's character is a ranger with that much HP. You could do a lot of interesting things. Like you could put yourself in harm's way a lot more and get out unscathed possibly. Just because his fucking stats are
Quit
incredible
being
too.
such a bitch.
I'm not saying like I wouldn't play him any differently. I think, but I would definitely try a little more things in that sense.
Each character has chosen to do specific things that the other members sometimes don't agree with. Does anyone have any moments of regret?
I think that question's probably focused on me.
Well, I mean,
but I'll
I
answer
guess
last.
I shouldn't
Well,
have cut
I'm
off
kinda
Right Blade's
regretting-
head.
Yeah, you all have things to regret.
All right, regrets time, guys.
Cutting off Right Blade's head. I was a little bit
What
impulsive.
like? I don't think you said this on air. Like, why did you do that? What you just were
I
like,
did
fuck
say.
it.
No, he had fought us. We had unbound him, and then we had said, "All right, we're gonna take you back." And he's like, "No, you'll have to fight me." And I didn't really think that we could just cast a spell back on him. I just thought of, well, okay, it's time to fight him then.
Okay. Because yeah, that was a pretty like that was definitely a moment where I had no idea that was gonna happen, and then it happened.
Yeah.
And I like
Because-
I even tried to save him by making you re-roll, and you still fucking decapitated him. It was like, well, that's it.
Well, when you guys started yelling at me, it made more sense that I probably shouldn't have done that. But at the time, I thought I was doing a great thing. Oh, he wants to fight? Well, good. I'll just chop his head off then.
Sure.
JP, have you ever done anything like broken an orb or anything like that you regret?
I kind of felt bad about the orb, only because I didn't realize that was like such a big pivotal thing for Neal. But looking back, like I'm actually kind of glad that I did it because it just kind of started off this legacy of Tuttiga completely fucking everything up. Something that I'm like still trying to do today. I do regret. I thought you were gonna say today. This is a spoiler for anyone that hadn't watched and they're just watching the Q&A. I thought that you were gonna say that I was the one that killed Lord Fang, and then I just like interrupted immediately. It was like it was her. And then you were
I was
just
like,
you were
what
saying
the
something
fuck?
else. So I felt kind of bad about that, but other than that, I'm glad I did all the things I've done.
Jen, do you have anything you regret?
Well, I think maybe I shouldn't have traded Mugwuggles for 150 gold. That was kind of bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But like, I don't really regret it. Like, I accepted it. I've moved on, but that was kind of sad. And also maybe if I could go back and not present my pretend boyfriend to the party and like just try to keep going with that storyline, I would have liked to know where it would have gone. I like the challenge of like role playing it and convincing him to like give us discounts or me armor or something.
Jeff, are you actually annoyed in real life, or is that just your character being annoyed about when we do like, because when we go into big like role play fits or we just go off on some random tangent, is that your character or is that you just being slightly annoyed?
I think at the beginning I was in super serious mode. And I did get annoyed a few times, but as time goes on, I just like it's part of the white noise that is our party. So no, it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
There are times when like we're doing something super awesome, and we'll be like, "All right, we approach the fortress," and then Abigail will be like, "But like, I want to know if that body back there has gold on it." So like, and I'm like, because I'm in game and my head's like,
Yeah, I
No.
know.
fucking like backpedal back. I'd be like, "1 second, guys, we're gonna check on 5 gold on them."
But sometimes it gives us good things.
No, because you've done that, you've gotten lots of good things.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually good because, like I said, I play my character kind of close
Yeah.
to how I am, so I don't like afterwards. I'm not like Abigail, but in the game, I'm a little bit like it, and I think that's okay because
That's
I got.
fine.
Yeah.
You'd be a little bit
Gregor,
annoyed.
any moments of regret?
Yes,
Tying the bear.
tying up my bear, trying to treat a bear like a dog. That is my number one regret.
I liked
Yeah.
the scene where he's trying to calm it though, and it's just bashing at him. He's like, "No,
I mean,
Beargor,
I was willing to take a few minutes just to see if I could calm him down,
Beargor,
and
no."
obviously, so I had to kill him.
Yeah.
Help kill him.
Then
Um,
immediately his skin for your jacket.
Yeah, I mean, I carried him around with me everywhere, and I got the hat,
Oh, I forgot you're still wearing that. The coat.
like
yeah,
turning
he did,
your
like
dog
5 minutes
into, like, a-
after.
And it's like skinning your dog and having like on your floor in front of your carpet. Like. or
What
in
about
front of your
you,
carpet.
Neil? What's your one regret thus far?
My one regret?
Yeah, thus far
Oh,
from the
fucking
party.
giving Jeff that sword.
Ah,
Oh my
yeah.
god. I mean, if anything, I would like to change it so it's not a +1 sword, it's a +0 sword, but then you have to get like your first kill with it to then level it up 1, and then it would go up to +5 still. Like if I could change it, I would do that, or I would just not have given that to you guys. Like it was kind of meant to be like an Easter, like, oh, by the way, you guys had the super cool sword way back then, but you guys didn't know about it, and then you stole it and ran off with it. Totally. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
You can't really give us shiny things, man, because we're gonna fucking figure out what they do.
Well,
steal
you
all
know,
the
every
things.
party's a little bit different, so I learned my lesson very quickly with you guys.
I'm very
Um,
thankful.
Yeah. Okay. I think
It's like
we'll
I
make
didn't
time
even try out the Brightblade sword because I was just like, nah, this one's too cool.
Yeah. I really like its mechanic though. It makes combat at least a little bit more interesting as things get
Yeah.
leveled. I think we have time for one or two more. To Bregor, you have been the backbone of our team on many occasions, in my opinion. You said you are neutral, but to me it seems you put in your party before yourself. Is that because of who Bregor is, or is that because of the best course of action for yourself, or is to work well with the party?
What a question.
So the way I read neutral is doing what is best for me, and since I'm with the party, I mean, obviously, I think if the party succeeds, I'm gonna succeed. There's some times where I'll go off and do my own thing, but I think for the most part, I view the party's success as being my success as well.
Okay. Last question. Jen, do you think you'll put the ring on with or without the party's consent?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with this because I don't want to use it like during a plot line because then it's gonna kind of just mess everything up. There's just gonna be too much shit going on, and I'm kind of scared of trying it on alone because it seems dangerous. But then again, I think it would be something Abigail would do. But now I'm like kidnapped by Dalamar or something, so I guess we're gonna
Yeah.
have to see that first, huh? Maybe you
Yeah,
guys.
I'm kind of pissed about that. We have to fucking. Well, actually, no, because we get to pass through Willowbrook one more time.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with the ring. I have no idea. It's
Maybe
just
so.
an idea. So
Uh,
I guess I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that is it. JP, you want to take the rest of it away?
there's one more question I want to ask from the chat. What do you each think is the most heroic moment of the party? And you can't answer something that your character did. I think that's a good way to end. And let's start with Neil on this because he hasn't gotten many questions.
Most heroic moment of the party? Hold on, you're gonna have to come back to me on this one. I need a moment to think.
He might also mean epic. I think heroic kind of
Heroic? Epic?
pigeonholes the answers.
Um,
So I'm gonna have an addendum to that.
I don't know. There's a lot of good moments there. I think probably the most epic moment for me was when you guys were approaching Dalamar's tower for the first time.
Because you knew what was coming.
No, because it was the moment where the players had the most like tension on them, and you guys actually were like, "Hold on, wait, do we really want to do this?" And you guys were most in character, and you're like kind of going forward, but not really like. There have been cool combat moments, but I think in terms of like epicness, that was probably like the moment where the players and the characters like meshed the most, and it really, I don't know, to me that seemed like super. In my head, that was the most epic, heroic, cool moment of the game.
Sure. Vincent or Jeff?
I don't know. Selfishly, they're all my.
Just name yours.
There's been you guys have done heroic stuff too. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Like I said,
There
epic might
was
be
a couple
better.
times where Bregor went fucking ham. Like he's like fumbling the bow, but then he like pot shots 5 guys in the head right in a row. It's kind of cool. The way the murder went down was pretty, obviously not heroic, but kind of epic. Like it didn't go down easily, and there was some arguing between the two of you, and like
When we killed
That's
Fang?
pretty good.
no, not Fang,
No,
the alchemist.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, the alchemist, right.
My first boyfriend I had. The very ugly dude.
That's very true. I forgot he was ugly.
That was really fun, actually. I love that part.
The pervy wizard was pretty good too.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh God.
I love the
Abigail
perfect
getting a little bit
wizard.
principled about the prostitute. She's like, you don't have to go through with this if you don't want to. She's-
Oh my God! And I loved when Ryan was like, what did I do to him? I like put on the crown or something, or the
No, that's because I
necklace.
made him strip nude.
I had to
That's
start stripping naked, and then
That
he
was
put
sick.
God, man.
jewels on me.
When he got naked, I'm like, boom, necklace.
That was
really
good.
good.
Ryan?
Most epic moment. I don't know. I think the whole thing surrounding you guys killing the alchemist was pretty tension heavy, and all of the stuff that we did in the crypt was pretty epic as well. With Brightblade, killing Brightblade. Did not expect you to decapitate him.
That was
And-
good plot twist.
Yeah, just everything that happened in there was pretty good too.
Jen?
Well, now I'm very curious about Dalamar just appearing out of nowhere. But I thought the escape when we almost died was really epic. I mean, it was like a big highlight of this show.
I think that kind of the moment that I actually probably started having the most fun was when we were escorting that caravan and we come up on the pass. And like, I think that was the first time we actually had a big crit in a fight. And Jeff just like one-shot the ogre or whatever. And then that happened. Then I realized like crazy shit like that could happen in fights. That's probably the most, even though like more epic things have happened, that's probably like one of the best moments I think from the game.
I still
Okay,
like breaking the spear in half that was in my stomach and then stabbing the guy in the face. And with the numbers, because if I just did like 1 damage, then it's not that cool. But then I just killed him. I like that. That's why I like the numbers. They like play a part in what things are epic and what's not.
Yeah.
Because like
The
I said,
crit
if I-
slap was pretty epic too. The perfect.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The perfect slap.
I imagine 42 in the chat. I think the escape from Fings was probably like the craziest thing that the party's done.
Yeah.
Because we almost died there, and like Neil even said that himself. Like the party's about to wipe.
Weekend at Bernie's, man. We
That's what I meant.
Dude, the perfect escape. Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
put a knife to a dead man's throat and
I
say,
think
back.
every
yeah.
action we did there was like really crucial, like the smoke bomb, and like I resuscitated like Jeff,
Yep.
and then I don't know what happened with
You know,
Telegraph. but
that's
it
what I
worked out.
regret actually, is trying to fucking break out of the prison when I could have just like, I think it would have worked if I told the guy to command. What did I say? Like I told him to confess. I think if I wouldn't have done anything else and just did that, like it would have worked. Like I would have gotten off free, but who knows? Who actually knows? I guess the roles.
Oh,
would have had to
Neil.
work. Well, no, I don't even think Neil knows because like I would have had to roll for it probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of role playing that could have happened from there. You know, I don't think there was any one action that alone could have saved you guys. You know,
Yeah.
it was definitely a combination of things.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that maybe we'll do like I don't know, do these every 10 weeks or something like that. I think that's a good. Just do a Q&A session
Yeah.
every 10 weeks. That's something fun to do. So,
Sure.
other than that, we'll be back next Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 2 a.m. GMT, I believe. I think. Don't quote me on that. Some crazy time for Europeans. Oh, we got to do shout-outs. I forgot about that. We didn't do that in the regular show. Jeff, shout-outs.
Just real quick, if you haven't already, just follow me on Twitter, iNcontroL, and I'll be hosting DreamHack. I'm leaving Wednesday, so just a few days, so make sure and tune in, but I already know you will. Everyone watches DreamHack, but thanks a lot for all the support and love.
Ryan, shout-outs.
Yeah, a shout out to my bro Ryan Reynolds, aka Ribo Rage. And also, yes, I would also enjoy if you followed me on Twitter at MLG Ryan.
Jen, shout-outs.
Shout out to people who watch the show. You're awesome. And follow me at LivinPink SC2 on Twitter. And check out my stream, twitch.tv/LivinPink. I stream StarCraft mostly.
Shout-outs, Neil.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for your kind words about me being good DM. I appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, SC2 Ratings. I also have a website that, does VOD stuff for StarCraft if you're into that sort of thing. And to pull a Jeff, I have something interesting coming up in a couple weeks from now that I'll announce then. So, announcement for you guys.
There you go. Everyone gets one, Neil.
I know, I get one. This is my one. Oh, and I also sometimes stream map making and other roleplay related things that aren't spoilers on my. But you follow me for Twitter if you care about that stuff.
Yeah, and I've been retweeting those as well. So I hope everyone in the party has. Other than that, subscribers here on Twitch. If you are a sub, you can watch the VOD from today as soon as we go offline. The VOD's already been up on YouTube for about 2 hours now. I think that was after our second break. So you can go watch that. If you're not a sub, yeah, that's been roleplay. It was a fun week. I'm looking forward to next week, what happens with Dalamar. And we will see what happens on Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys then. Thank you all for watching. We're out.
See ya.
Jana.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Peace.